Hey everyone, today I want to share a story that changed my life forever. It all started when Joseph gave me an annoyed look as if to say, "Why are you making such a fuss?" I pointed to the knife handle sticking out from under the bed and pleaded with them to believe me. Mr. Joseph knelt down, pulled it out, and showed it to Brandon. He just smiled and said he had never seen it before. And they, of course, believed him. I told them that my door had been locked, so he must have picked it. But they told me that was nonsense. I felt so alone. I had no one. I didn't know what to do. For better or worse, a decision was made for me the next morning. Mrs. Joseph called me to the living room and said I had stolen her jewelry. I was completely confused until she held up a pearl necklace I had never seen before. She told me she had found it in my purse, which she was holding in her other hand. I begged her to believe me that I hadn't stolen it, but there was nothing I could say to convince her. Brandon stood in the hallway, smiling to himself. I knew it was him. They fired me on the spot. I flew back to France the next day. I couldn't believe how easily Brandon had destroyed my life. For months afterward, I was extremely depressed. I thought I had blown my one chance at living in the US and feared I wouldn't get another one. Fortunately, I found my way back to the States several years later and still live here. I have a good job and good friends. I still think about Brandon from time to time. I can only imagine the evil person he's grown up to become. For most people, traveling alone is terrifying, and understandably so, but for some reason it's never bothered me all that much. I've always been quite independent and outgoing, so befriending new people comes naturally to me. It's probably one of the reasons I decided to become an au pair. Also, I've always wanted to become a child psychologist. In my opinion, many of the world's problems could be solved if children had better parenting and proper guidance. Beyond that, I've always wanted to experience America. So working as an au pair was something I seriously considered. I'm originally from Germany, from a tiny village outside Cologne. Most Americans have never heard of it. So when people ask where I'm from, I usually just say Germany. It's easier that way. Before you say anything, I believe that my English is rather good, or so I'm told. It's gotten considerably better since living in the US, and people are often impressed by it. My father is originally from the UK and did everything in his power to ensure that my English was as good as my German, if not better. I'm not sure if they have them here in the US, but I had an electronic dictionary growing up that doubled as a translator. I remember messing around with it a ton as a kid, plugging in words and translating them with my dad. I also read like crazy when I was younger, which I think definitely helped me. Anyway, my host family lives in a wealthy suburb in Northern California. Their house is unbelievable. You might think living here would be lonely, but the agency does a great job of connecting nearby au pairs, so I immediately clicked with a few girls in the surrounding area. Thanks for listening to my story. If you've ever experienced something similar, let me know in the comments. Stay strong, and until next time.